Thank you. Hi, everybody. How are you? You had a great day? No? Yes? Are you waiting for the party? Might be.
Wait.
Okay, no. Okay.
How are you?
Yeah. Come on.
I've seen you guys doing this better. So, are you having a great day so far?
All right, it's late, but
as good as it gets.
We've got a great panel now. If you want to hear something about money, about media, and how to make a startup big in a very short time, then that's the right place for you to be. And yeah, we have a very diverse panel, and the 6 panelists, they will do a short presentation for you. And the first one I would like to introduce to you is Zech. He's head of SevenVentures Austria, and he's specialized in media for equity deals and part of ProSiebenSat.1 PULS. Daniel, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me today. I'm Daniel, and I'm representing here today SevenVentures and SevenVentures Austria. SevenVentures is the venture arm of the ProSiebenSat.1 Media AG or the ProSiebenSat.1 PULS GmbH here in Austria. Yeah, I mean, we have a very, very big opportunity for you as startups today because we are putting you as a mobile startup, as an online startup, as an online company in our TV advertising breaks, and so we are generating for you additional and a big revenue impact and a big impact on traffic. First, we have an overview, where do we invest as a whole company. We have the venture capital seed funds, and the first round we have, we provide as a company over there the ProSiebenSat.1 Accelerator. Jens will present it to you afterwards. And on the other hand of side, we have our great TV show, TV investment show. It's a high quality public value TV format, pitching startups in front of an investor jury. This TV show will start in March 2015. Please take a reminder in your calendar right now, and it will be really great. So what I'm responsible for is the SevenVentures, the third part. We are investing there in the second or third investing rounds with the focus on fast-growing B2C e-commerce models, which provided us a proof of concept and scalable business operations. Why scalable? We see Austria as a test market. If this test market in Austria is successful, we will bring it to our big brother, to Germany and Switzerland. Yeah, that was our investment focus, but how we are doing that? Yeah, we are offering 2 kinds of business models. First of all, on the left-hand side, the media for revenue model. We are providing startups a highly discounted TV media volume or TV media spots on our channels ProSiebenSat.1 and also PULS here in Austria. And on top, on revenue share during the advertising time. A little bit more strategic is the media for equity model. We are exchanging, it's very simple, we are exchanging TV volume against equity shares of the company. A short overview about our status quo. We are invested in more than 50 companies, and we are investing in different kind of clusters. The first cluster is the travel cluster, which was focused on the last years. Now, today is the focus on the beauty and lifestyle cluster, and we are really proud. Also for Austria, we have 7 pure Austrian companies in our portfolio within 2 equity stakes with Marktguru and RUBLYS, and other companies like Asian import of Rakuten, or online jewelry shop with New One Shop, Dogfinder, or Check.net, an online insurance comparison. So it was a short presentation of SevenVentures and the activities. Right now, Jacob.
Yeah. Daniel, thank you very much. Please have a seat. The next one is Dainese. He's CEO and founder of the Dainese startup Marktguru, which, and great. And yeah, you partnered with SevenVentures. Please tell us a little bit about this.
maybe I start talking a little bit about me and how I grew the idea and so on, and then how we partnered with 7 Ventures and ProSiebenSat.1 PULS. It started all with a regular shopping tour with my daddy. We went shopping for retail shopping, some regular stuff, and then we found razor blades on sale. And we were both really happy that we found those blades on sale because they were just that expensive that you can only buy them when there is a promotion for that. So I started thinking about that business and started thinking about if there is a service available which gives me the information about offers on sale. And I did not find any platform. So I started pitching around with my friends and families, and I was pretty fast. I was able to really squeeze out some money from the big 3 Fs, friends, family, and fools. So I got my seed investment pretty quick. And what happened next was that I went home to my girlfriend and told her, okay, honey, I will quit my decent, well-paid job and start my own business. And she said, woo, amazing, I'm pregnant. So I faced some tough times, not only business-wise, but also from family point of view. But I'm really happy that we managed it so far. So 3 years ago, we started the platform, and we were lucky that we gathered or that we achieved to acquire some really big retailer chains like Spar and Red Zech and Electronic Partner and so on at our own. But what we really needed was reach. We, of course, had the best product in this industry, but we needed reach. So I pitched in front of 7 Ventures and in front of ProSieben. And after some time, it took a decent amount of time to get the contract, but then we partnered. And I'm really happy about it. Because what ProSieben and 7 Venture offers is not only to treat us like a regular investor, they also help us marketing-wise, public relation-wise. They added an amazing co-CEO to our team, Michael Buchbinder. Come on, give him a hand. Because we all knew that we lacked sales. And so they added this really important member to our team. So what we are actually offering are every leaflet you have in your mailbox, you can find them on our platform with a special service that you are also able to search for a product, an offer, and you will find all the information in detail. So you will get not only the information that if you search for beer, for example, that a certain kind of beer is on leaflet page number 5, but you will find also the price. You see this on the second screen. You see the price, you see the reference price, you see a picture, a description. So everything you need to know about the product in detail you will find on our page. And also promotions. Yeah, could you do the next slide, please? Since then, our business is really rocketing. We do have now a brand awareness of 35%, which means that every 3rd Austrian knows our brand, which is really amazing. So this has a massive impact on the app downloads. They peaked on a flight like 3,000 downloads per day. And it also has a huge impact, thanks to Michi, on sales as well. So thank you. This was my introduction.
Thanks. So yeah, next up is Jens Pippig. He's founder and managing director of the ProSiebenSat.1 Accelerator in Germany. Very welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. As I said, or as my previous speakers already mentioned, I'm heading up the ProSiebenSat.1 Accelerator, and I would like to explain to you a little bit what we do and why it might be of interest to either you or some of your peers, some of the people you know that are in the right stage in the startup business. So the first slide would be great. So the ProSiebenSat.1 Accelerator is a classical accelerator program. It runs twice a year. It's 3 months long. And we take in 6 to 8 companies per batch that apply, that get selected. And then they get 3 months at our headquarters, or at our, so in Munich, or at our location in Berlin. They get 25,000 euros investment. And they get coaching and mentoring from experts from either ProSiebenSat.1, managing directors of our business units, or external mentors. It can be very successful entrepreneurs that have sold their businesses, that have done a great exit, or functional experts such as legal guys, marketing experts, search engine optimizers, whatever you need basically. And that's highly individualized based on the needs of the respective startups. And in addition, one team gets the opportunity to pitch at the 7 Ventures Pitch Day at a similar conference in London in November. So they can pitch for 7 million euros in TV advertising time that they would get for free if they succeed. And for all of this, we take 5% equity in the companies to formalize the partnership so that the startups can put demands on us, but we also have some demands on the startups so that they are really a part of the ProSiebenSat.1 family. Important to understand is that we do not only invest in B2C startups, so all the things you could theoretically advertise for on TV, but in B2B startups as well, as long as we believe we can add value. So the only thing we probably would not invest in is pharmaceuticals or chemicals or whatever. But all the other things, everything that's business-oriented, either because it helps us as a big corporate organization, so it can be HR software, it can be whatever kind of business solutions you create, or it can also be anything that's related to advertising, TV, video players, whatever you can come up with there in these fields. So the typical industries or focus areas we have are media, entertainment, advertising, e-commerce, big data, health, and fintech. These are the typical areas we invest in. So as long as you have something that is not really in these fields that I mentioned before, chemistry or chemicals and pharmaceuticals, then we are probably the right partner to talk to. So what have we done so far? We have invested in 26 companies, so we've been doing this for 2 years. We have quite some experience, some great traction. We have raised millions in follow-on fundings for the startups that we have invested in. We have 150 mentors that on average do 250 coaching sessions per batch with the startups, so it's a very, very intense program. We have an acceptance rate of about 2%. So if you make it into the program, you have succeeded against a lot of competitors, and the startups that we've invested in also have won numerous awards, as has the Accelerator itself. And so that you also get a bit of a better picture of what companies we actually invest in, Mathias will come on stage, who is the CEO of one of our startups, Kinematics Tinkerbots.
Right. Thank you very much, Jens. And next up is Mathias Bürger.
Yeah, hello. My name is Mathias. I'm a CEO and co-founder of Kinematics. We developed a modular robotic building set for children called Tinkerbots, which we believe will become the next Lego, because children love robots and they love any kind of toy that's somehow interactive. The problem is, however, it's much too difficult for them to build their own robots. And therefore, we developed a modular building set with which really any child can build his own robots. And in fact, you can build thousands of little robots with this building set. It's modular, it's wireless, it's even compatible to your Legos. Yes. The centerpiece of the whole building set is a little red cube, which we call the power brain. It includes a battery and an Arduino microcontroller, and it comes alongside a whole bunch of different kinetic modules which can realize certain kinds of motion. There's a twister, a pivot module, but there's also a grabber to grab stuff, and a motor module with little axles and wheels, so you can build a car and anything like that. And then you have those little passive building blocks which can add more detail to the robots. And all of those pieces can be connected easily and without the need for wiring or programming. You just snap them together and that's it. And controlling your robots is just as easy as to build them. So you basically, for example, you build this dog or anything else, and you can take it in your hand, press a record button, move it in the way you want it to move, and the robot remembers what you told him. And when you then push play, it will repeat exactly what you showed him. So it's kind of a motion recording and replay. And, but of course, you can also use our app on your smartphone or tablet as a remote control. So on the next slide, you will see a couple of models that you can build with this, but what you can actually do with Tinkerbots is just a matter of your own fantasy, of your own creativity, because these are just some examples we came up with, but you can do a whole lot of more with it. So far, we launched a pre-order campaign on Indiegogo on April this year, where we sold about 800 units and made $300,000 in revenues. We will be ready for mass production in early 2015. In May 2015, we are planning to launch our online sales campaign, and in 2016, we will hit the retail market. And earlier this year, or last year, we joined the ProSiebenSat.1 Accelerator, and shortly after we could secure a first round of seed financing, a substantial round of financing, and now we're fully funded until mid-2015, but at the moment we're planning a little top-up round to extend the runway to Series A so that we can create substantial online sales, improve the production process, cut the costs, get first retail partners. Well, that's where we are at the moment, and hopefully we can show you a little video right now to see Tinkerbots in action.
This is Tinkerbots. The red cube is the power brain. It provides the energy and contains an Arduino-compatible microcontroller. It comes alongside a range of other different kinetic modules, like the twister, the pivot, the motor module, and the grabber. Plus there's a whole bunch of small passive building blocks which can add more detail to your robots. You can even use Lego bricks to add more detail if you want. All of Tinkerbox modular pieces can be connected easily, without the need for wiring or programming. It's extremely simple and easy to use. Even a 5-year-old can use Tinkerbots to build any robot he or she can imagine. And because it's essentially a building set, your child can create an endless number of toys to play with. They can build this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Controlling your robots is as easy as it is to build them. The integrated record and play mode lets you teach your robot what to do and to bring it to life. Just take the robot in your hands, press record, move it in the way you want it to move, and when you hit the play button, the toy will repeat exactly what you just taught it. For more advanced robots, you can use the Tinkerbots app on your tablet or smartphone as a remote control. With Tinkerbots, you're not just purchasing a single robot, you're getting the ability to build any type of robot toy that you and your child can imagine, all the while having fun and learning.
All right, thank you. It looks very cool to me. Next up is Michael Altrichter. Please come on stage. He's one of Austria's best-known business angels. Welcome.
Hello everybody, good night. It's a pleasure here to talk to you. Actually, I shouldn't be here on this stage. Why? Because in my mid-20s, when I just finished my studies as a technical physician here in the University of Technology in Vienna, I seriously wanted to become an astronaut. So I attended the International Space University, and for sure I wanted to be the first man on the Mars. I found out the travel, as you might know, takes 1.5 years one way, and I wanted to have a two-way ticket. So really doing this job of 3 years going to Mars, I said maybe this is the first hurdle not to being an astronaut. But the second reason was Austria is not participating in a manned spaceflight, so I had to look for another job. And as you might know, fortunately, Austria does not have any nuclear weapons and no nuclear power plants. So for a physician, for a physicist, it's quite tricky to get a job. So what I did, I founded my own company together with 3 other commilitons, 3 other guys which I knew from the university. We founded PaySafeCard. Maybe we go to the next slide. So by the time I was 28, an absolute greenhorn in business, but I thought this is a cool, easy thing, and we started our own company. PaySafeCard is a prepaid card for web shoppers. It was the first card of its type of card in the, actually was a new world invention. We did the full roller coaster. We started before the bubble bursted. Quickly after we got the first money, the internet bubble bursted. We nearly went bankrupt. Years later, we recovered, and it turned out that PaySafeCard is nowadays a very successful company with 180 employments and selling more than 40 million of those PaySafeCards every year. PaySafeCard was sold 3 years ago to an English company. for a 9-digit valuation. So this is one of the biggest exits in Austria, and I was happily one part of it. I quickly after founded another company, another payment company, which is called PULS. Actually, Can Ertogul was one of the co-founders. He started up this company as well, together with me and Stefan Kaltais. PULS was sold 5 months after founding. This was the quickest exit in Austria. The product wasn't even live. This was actually a concept exit. We only had some pieces of paper and some ideas and a crazy team of 4 guys. And after my exit of PULS, I started then my career as business angel. I finally found my destination, not astronaut, not building nuclear power plants. Today I am a business angel, having now actually 12 investments in startup. Most of them are, of course, internet and app startups. I could talk over all those startups, of course, the whole night long, but I just want to draw your attention to one specific startup, which is called RUBLYS. RUBLYS is an app where the user gets, on a daily basis, scratch cards for free. So he can win every day minor winnings on a very high probability. And it turned out that RUBLYS is a very successful app. It was the top #1 app for quite a decent time here in Austria. We have more than 30 million ruble or scratch action already on this app. So while I'm talking here, the guys from you who have an Austrian or a German link to the store can try it out. Why I'm talking about RUBLYS? Actually, because of 2 reasons. First, we made a media for equity deal together with 7 Ventures. I think we will focus on this deal later on in this talk. And the second reason was RUBLYS was one of the candidates in the 2-minute 2 million show. Can we go to the next slide, please? The 2 Minuten 2 Millionen is the first, or was the first last year, the first format in the Germanic region where the candidates, the startups, have 2 minutes time in front of the camera to pitch for a jury of 5 out of 5 persons and to get an investment within this show. RUBLYS was very successful there as well. They got a cash investment of 250,000 plus another 400,000 media for equity. How does this 2-minute 2 million work? After this 2-minute pitch of the company, we have like 10 to 20 minutes of Q&A session, and then the jury makes an offer or not. Actually, as you see, the name says 2-minute 2 million, although more than 2 million has been invested. It was so successful. I was part of the jury last year, and it was really, really exciting to see those startups coming up in front of the camera and to make deals. So we actually invested more than we have. Our goal was. Just recently, last week, we produced the second season of 2-minute 2 million, as it was last year so successful. So another awesome and thrilling 30 companies attended last week, and I did again a couple of very interesting investments. You will see it at the beginning of next year when it will be on air. So be prepared what interesting investments has been done at this in the second season. And another thing, my last point here, which I would like to draw your attention is the Querdenker, which is in English something like out-of-the-box thinking. Querdenker, lernen von den Besten. This is a pre-production going out on air before the 2-minute 2 million show. Those 12 renowned CEOs from Austria, they helped 12 startups to like a boot camp in order to help those very, very early stage companies to get investable. PULS 4 made a distinction this year. The companies who are not yet investment ready were sent to this Querdenker thing, and the other companies who had a slightly later stage who were already investable were sent directly to 2-minute 2 million. And those 12 companies who were then coached by one of those 12 mentors, they battled against each other, and the winner of those 12 was then in the 2-minute 2 million live show. And well, that was my introduction. I think we have prepared now a short video showing now the 2-minute 2 million and the Querdenker. Thank you very much.
PULS 4 is expanding its offensive on the future. Successful Austrians are taking young entrepreneurs by the hand.
Hello, my name is Christian Konrad.
My name is Elisabeth Kürzler. I'm Gerhard Hörhan.
I'm Stefan Pierer. I'm one of the mentors on the PULS 4 program Querdenker.
12 motivated people get the chance to put their idea into practice with the help of a mentor.
I like it when young people make themselves independent and take risks.
Someone who rebels against the economic establishment, against convention. Someone who does things differently, with creativity, with entrepreneurial spirit, and who is willing to take risks.
Mentor and candidate make an idea into a business. The prize? A definite place on 2 Minuten 2 Millionen. The PULS 4 startup show where you convince the biggest investors in Austria. If you convince the investors, a first starting capital beckons.
Dear jury.
And our offer is 10% of our company for 150,000 euros.
I'm going to try it.
2 Minuten 2 Millionen. 5 investors, 1 chance.
You've got to try it. Crazy!
All right, Daniel, you wanted to say something?
Maybe in addition, Querdenker will start in February 2015 every Thursday and 21:15 on PULS 4, and afterwards the 2 minutes to mini will start in March, I think, 2015, every Thursday at 21:15. So set a reminder.
All right, thanks. So last but not least, I would like to introduce Peter Bosek on stage. He is a member to the management board of Erste Bank Group. Warm welcome, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Being a boring banker, I feel quite honored to be invited to such a smart event. I'm not used to it, to be honest. Normally my daily life is surrounded by boring board meetings, supervisory boards and all this stuff. And it's really great what the guys are doing here. Just to give you a feeling what I'm in charge for in the bank, I'm in charge for retail banking for the whole group. I'm in charge for corporate banking in Austria, private banking, marketing and all this stuff. Not really interesting. Next slide, please. Erste Bank is roughly 200 years old, so we are definitely not a startup. But at the peak of the financial crisis some years ago, I was sitting at home trying to reflect what happened over the last times. And then I came to a point where I realized that we are, in terms of reputation, trust towards the banking industry, that we are completely fucked up. It was quite clear that we can't go on in the same way as we did before. And then we founded a special unit, we call it Hub, and put it beside the bank with the clear task to drive innovation for banking. This is now 2 or 3 years ago, happened 2 or 3 years ago. And till now, I'm quite happy what we achieved. There were also presentations this afternoon. You know, our competitive landscape changed totally. It's not about UniCredit or Raiffeisen or all these boring banks anymore. It's about Google, it's about Facebook, it's about Amazon, it's about you. There are a lot of financial techs out there coming up with some very smart ideas. And I think, on the other hand, we also have a competitive advantage because Google knows where information flows, but we know where the money goes. And I think that's much more interesting. And till now, we have 2.6 million clients in the group who are doing online banking. We are trying to come up with a very strong footprint in terms of digital banking. And the next slide should explain you what we can offer to you, even if some of you are kind of competitors. On the one hand, we started 14 years ago with a kind of Gründerakademie and I2B, where we are offering tools where you can develop business plans. We're offering kind of workshops where you get legal support, support in accounting and all this stuff. And then we decided 2 years ago also to offer equity. You know, normally banks are just offering debt. And banks are not famous for doing private equity business because mindset of bankers is loan to hold and not invest equity and let's think how it works out. And so we invested 3.5 million in this AWS Gründerfonds. And we are in discussions about a cooperation with Speed Invest. because I think also for us as a bank, it's very important to get a much stronger footprint than we have now in the whole startup area in Austria or in Europe. Because as a banker, seeing the economic development over the next time, there are no real growth initiatives from existing parts of industry. There is no demand for loans at the moment, nobody is willing to invest, and therefore you in this room, you people are extremely important because you're a kind of hope that you can change industry and give the necessary innovation to the economy, that Europe has a chance to overcome the situation we are in. I think it will take several years that we succeed to get better, but I'm really honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, yeah, so I would like to open the discussion. Patrick, I would like to start with you. So your startup is one of the first startups that did a media for equity deal here in Austria, together with 7 Ventures. So please tell us a little bit about it. How does that work? Are you now like #1 in the App Store? How did it work out?
Well, of course, we are always #1 in everything. But I mean, the cooperation with 7 Ventures is really pretty close. It's, as I said before, we're not friends and family, but they really help and treat us pretty correct and help us with marketing and public relations. They also suggested an amazing creative director who invented our spots and did the whole thing. And so they are really a big help for us in every end.
All right. So when the TV commercial is on air, what kind of traffic spikes do you see on your website or in the download charts?
This heavily depends on when you place the TV commercial, of course. We did it once or twice in the break of the Champions League, and this almost crashed our service because we had, from 1 second to another, like 3,000 to 4,000 users on our system. And it was almost the same with Germany's Next Top Model. But if you do a regular flight, then you can see, of course, after the commercial that there is a peak, and it has a massive impact.
Maybe in addition, we see also the long distance impact of TV media and what makes TV media with a startup. I mean, that's our main goal, to reach the critical mass with this company very fast. Only another example next to Marktguru was RUBLYS. They were pitching it in 2 minutes to million within 2 or 3 minutes airtime, and the amount of the downloads of the app were around 3,500 only in these 2 or 3 minutes within they were pitching in front of the investors. So the most important thing is for us, once again, first of all, to reach a critical mass to establish market leader within a very, very short time.
And Patrick, here a lot of startups, so would you recommend them to do media for equity deals?
Well, I would say it heavily depends on the product. If you need a...
Think what you say, okay?
Yes, you always have to go for media for equity, independent of the product. No, honestly, I mean, if you have a product which you need to offer a wide range of people, then television has a massive impact.
Maybe another key success factor is, in addition to our TV media effects, is our sales leverage to our TV sales house. We are also leveraging the startups with our whole sales team and try to monetize the product very fast.
All right. So what is in it for you? So you are giving young startups precious on-air time. What do you get back for that?
What do we get back? We want to build good companies. We want to support good entrepreneurs, and we get back revenue shares. Maybe sometimes we get an exit kicker or something else like that. So.
And I heard you get equity.
And also equity. So we want to develop the company from the beginning until some time the company will be successful. So we want to build together in a good team with the company successful companies in a good partnership.
Which kind of startups are you looking for? What's the ideal startup for a media for equity deal? Does B2B stuff work, or do you just concentrate on B2C
We
startups?
We are focusing on fast-growing B2C startups because we can leverage them with TV media from our experience at the best. So, but please welcome. We can also have a chat afterwards, and maybe we can find something together.
All right. Yeah. Now I want to speak a little bit about the accelerator stuff. We got two guys here who are doing this. So Matthias, you have also connections to ProSiebenSat.1, but slightly different than Patrick wants, because your startup took part in the Accelerator program in Germany. What was your experience there? What was the most important thing you did get out of the 3 months you spent there?
Well, I mean,
apart from free internet.
Sorry?
Apart from free internet.
I think the most important thing were, of course, the dialogue with the mentors and coaches, so that you could strengthen your business case and get a little bit more the view of the investors and what they want to see, where you need to improve a little bit, how to do the reasoning for the figures, for the sales figures and everything. You know, that was really crucial, I think, and also the mentoring and coaching from external partners, which was really where you got to know people that you wouldn't have known otherwise, and were the most important things to me, I think.
All right, and so you spent 3 months there. When you moved out of the Accelerator program, how is the relationship with the Accelerator going on? Are there regular meetups, or do you get still feedback?
There are no regular meetups, but we're frequently in contact. So, I mean, I call Jens quite regularly and ask him for his opinion on this or that, and it's always good to have a partner who has seen similar cases and knows what other startups did and what's usual practice. And I think that's a very good thing. And also, for example, when we started the Indiegogo campaign, then they provided us with a direct contact to Indiegogo guys, so we could meet them in New York and talk to them about the campaign, which was really helpful. And yeah, that's the stuff.
Okay, so it's an ongoing relationship and not just 3 months. Jens, you were the founder of the ProSiebenSat.1 Accelerator. What was the big idea behind the Accelerator before you started it? What's the main goal you're striving for?
I mean, for me, it was the perfect opportunity to start my own startup in a corporate organization. So I had built and exited 2 startups before I joined ProSiebenSat.1 as the head of strategy, and I was definitely interested in doing some more entrepreneurial stuff as well. So I came up with the idea when I was in the US, because there were a lot of startups that very positively spoke about being part of an accelerator program, and I thought, why don't we have something similar? And then nobody could give me a good answer to this, and I asked the board, so what do you think? Shouldn't we do something like that? And they said, yeah, go for it. And that was 2 years back, and since then, I mean, we've done a lot of investment, and it's basically a door opener into the ProSiebenSat.1 group, because if you are a startup, it's not impossible to do business with ProSiebenSat.1 on your own, but we have various business units, various people that you could theoretically get in touch with, and you must not have or believe that by contacting one person in the organization normally, that the person, if it's not interested to him or her, would pass you on to the other guys that it could be interesting for. So typically it just, you send an email to a guy, ask, hey, are you interested? And they say no, and then it's over. With us, it's different, because we are basically the one entry point into the organization, and we make sure that you meet the people you need to meet up with, or should meet up with. And that's, I guess, a huge benefit, because we know the people, and the people trust us, and if we ask them to meet with the startups, they do that.
What kind of startups are you looking for? Are there any verticals that are preferred, or do you do anything?
I mean, we are very, very open. We're probably the most open investment arm within ProSiebenSat.1 because we are not limited to B2C models as SevenVentures is, because we are of course also interested in B2C models that we could theoretically later on pass on to SevenVentures, for example, as we could do with Kinematics Tinkerbots. Once they have reached a critical mass or are big enough, then we could pass them on to SevenVentures and say, close the deal with SevenVentures again. But we are also looking for B2B startups that could help us in our industry, media startups, advertising startups.
All right. And at the end of the day, I guess your accelerator also wants to make some money. What's in it for you?
Very, very simple. We're a small venture capital fund in the end, right? We take equity stakes in the startups. We now have a portfolio of 26 companies. We can see that the value on paper is going up because of the follow-on funding and so on, but we need exits so that we get cash back, but that's a typical venture capital model, so it's a long time period of about 7 to 10 years that we basically have to see until we need to get exit proceeds from the startups. But we also do, of course, have some other justifications because we identify trends, innovations that we can use as a company that we wouldn't see otherwise. And also we help other companies, corporate organizations, to set up own accelerator programs or innovation programs based on our experience that we've collected over the past 2 years.
All right, Michael Altrichter, as I said, you are one of the most well-known business angels here in Austria, and you were in the jury of the 2 Minuten 2 Millionen show, and there you literally have like 2 or 3 minutes to kind of decide if you invest in a startup or not. So on which principles do you decide to invest?
Well, actually, there's only one main principle, it's the gut feeling. Forget all these business plans, DCF methods and facts and figures. Actually, this is general, the rule for me as a business angel. I decide only for the gut feeling. Do I trust the team? Do I find it like a sexy business model where I want to spend my time and money over the next months and years? And this is purely the gut feeling. And actually, you can get this feeling quite quickly. So a pitch of 2 minutes is actually enough. It's the first challenge for the company, for the startup. If they don't bring all their points into 2 minutes, then they are not the right CEOs anyway. And to be honest, 2 minutes is my maximum time before I start a question in real life if somebody's pitching me. You know, I mean, I don't listen half an hour, 2 hours to somebody's pitching. So I think this 2 minutes of pitch is a very good time. However, and to be honest, quite enough time. However, the time, this 10 to 15 minutes Q&A session afterwards, this is much too small, much too less time. It's like, it's a hot chair. As a jury member there, you know, you get every 20, 25 minutes, you get a new startup. In between, you know, you have this ear-in technical stuff. Are you okay for the camera? And then another guy's pitching for, let's say, 200,000 for 10% in some business model. And you really have to think, oh, well, it's quite a challenge you're getting good deals in the camera. However, the question is, do you make the right decision in this short period of time? And this is quite a roller coaster and a hot seat there. But it's interesting and makes fun. So that's why I joined the second time the jury as well.
All right. In the first season, you did some investments and you co-invested with SevenVentures in, I think, 2 startups. From your point of view as a business angel, is it very important to have a media partner as a co-investor?
As we had it before, it depends on the business model. Like for RUBLYS, we said it was absolutely the best fit. Before that, I doubted sometimes, so you have to really critically look for your business model. Is it really a value to add a media company? And in the case of RUBLYS, it was absolutely fantastic to make a TV ad campaign. It turned out to be very successful. So the spending per new user was far below the lifetime value of the user. So we can now scale. We know it. We did it for Austria. We spent those 400K on gross media volume. And we are not talking about Germany, to just make it 10 times bigger. We know it will work. So this was a very successful campaign which showed, yes, it works. I have other portfolio companies where we made media deals with newspapers. For example, Wikifolio is a social trading platform, and the media partner was Handelsblatt, of course, the best media partner you can imagine in this field in Germany, right? So it depends on your business model. Who is the right media partner, or is there even a good media partner for you?
All right, Peter Bosek, I don't want to discuss any bank regulations stuff, so, but...
Me neither.
All right, but banks are well known to have a lot of cash and also a lot of know-how, so how can a bank like yours help startups? How do you invest in startups? What do you get out of startups?
Yeah. To be quite open, that's a relatively tricky question due to the fact, as mentioned before, normally we are just offering debt. Yeah? And I think in terms of financial structure of a startup, equity is needed, and it's not about debt. We started to invest equity, but not directly, so via AWS Gründerfonds, and we are thinking about if we should go in a different form of cooperations with other startup funds. I think what we can offer is kind of support in terms of accounting and all this legal stuff. This is the area where banks are quite good at. And on the other hand, I think we can support after the first phase of equity financing, then we can support the further development of the companies. Because my experience over the last years is you get these family, fools and friends at the beginning, then you have professional guys like him having millions of money to invest. And then, at a certain point in time, a bank is needed. Yeah? And then it's getting easier for you because we are not as tough as this guy. Yeah? We are able to listen quite longer because we are the boring bankers. Yeah? And I think then offering working capital, whatever, it would be the right thing to do for us.
There are a lot of financial tech startups out there who want to disrupt banking.
And I'm afraid of.
Yeah. So, do you see them as a threat or as an opportunity?
I mean, in a certain way as an opportunity because it really wakes us up. Yeah? Because there is a totally different mindset out there and it really challenges us. And I think in terms of competition, challenge is always good. Of course, we try to cooperate with some of them. My impression is that most of the financial tech startups are all around mobile payments at the moment. And I think it's very tricky to come up with a mobile payment solution working for all countries, for example, in Europe. So we are closely watching the market. If we would see something where we really would believe that could be groundbreaking, then we would be willing to invest.
And there's also another form of financing startup. There are a lot of crowdfunding platforms out there like Kickstarter or Indiegogo. Yeah. What do you think about crowdfunding? Is this kind of an alternative?
From an Austrian perspective, crowdfunding is a little bit sozialromantik. Yeah? Everybody's talking about this guy doing his shoes, fighting with the regulatory issues. When you think about Kickstarter, they published, I think in July this year, how money they raised in each of the countries they are in. And we are talking about 20 million euros in Germany. If you say we have the normal relation between Germany and Austria, we would talk about 2 million in Austria. So that's, to be honest, quite nothing. As a bank, I would try to avoid this part of the business for us as a bank. And I hope nobody will ask us afterwards to clean it up. Because I don't really believe in this.
Maybe just to add here one point. Again, it's a question of which company, which business model you are talking. For some business models, crowdfunding is the best thing. Maybe you have the new cool drink out there, then a crowdfunding is good. You open it to the public. If it is a complex B2B model, I think it's useless to make a crowdfunding. Nobody understands what's going on there. So I think it depends on the business model you're working. For some business model, it's a good idea to make crowdfunding, and for some does not fit. Yeah.
I think it's also not just a financing model, but it can also be used as a proof of concept, which we did, and we explicitly said to our investors that this is a milestone we want to get the proof of concept, we want to get the proof that people will spend money on our product, so that, I mean, they don't get a share in the company or anything, but they actually buy the product and they give money in advance to get the product. And this was for us, it was a perfect proof of concept, you know.
Of course,
but
maybe if I can interrupt a little bit. Also for us as a media investor, it's also a part of proof of concept, but I think we have to talk about crowdfunding or crowd investing. Crowdfunding is something different than crowd investing. Crowd investing, you are giving the money to the startup and getting equity, a small equity stake of the company. It depends on what you invest. But crowdfunding, it's like I'm giving you money and get a gift or something else back. Yeah? And I think you don't,
channel, basically.
Yeah. And you don't have to clean up the crowdfunding market, maybe the crowd investing market, we will see it.
But I mean, for us as an accelerator, it's interesting. We've basically seen everything. We have startups as Kinematics that did some crowdfunding and sold their products on the market. We have invested in companies that had raised money previously through crowd investing platforms, such as SeedMatch. We've had others that finished the accelerator and then raised money on these platforms. I think there is a market for all of these. And I mean, it very much depends on who you need to reach out to. Do you need multiplicators? Do you need dumb money? Do you want to expand your international reach? I mean, you got in touch with people from South Korea through your Indiegogo campaign that you otherwise wouldn't even have contacted. So I mean, it can work. It very much depends on your business model, and it will definitely not replace the banks, but it's it's an entire ecosystem in the end that you need to find the right components, and everybody gets more used to dealing with these kinds of things. Because I can remember 2 years ago when Seven Ventures had to do a deal with companies that had previously raised money through through crowd investing platforms. Everybody just thought, oh my God, we have never done this before. This is something we don't really want to do. But now you're getting more and more used to it. So it's just part of the investment landscape, basically.
All right, thank you very much. So we've got some minutes left. Now it's your turn. If anybody got a question for the experts here, please raise your hand, or you can also ask a question in the Pioneers app. Any questions? Over there is a question.
Olivier Claire. I'm working in branding and marketing, communication, and also design. I'm interested in working for startups. I never saw the program that you are talking about, and it looks like a reality show, right? So, are you using the public? Sorry?
Did not see it. Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay.
I didn't hear you.
Okay. Go on. Go on.
It looks like a reality show. I mean, the little thing that I saw. So, do you use the public as a resource for actually overview the kind of target group, making surveys, monitoring, in order that you have a feedback from these potential customers or clients which will be really interested in the application? Or you are taking this kind of effect, like a suspense, and having a guy which is pitching because you have been mentored. That's what I'm interested in. And if you use this TV show as a resource to show to the public that they can be involved in the success of this product or services, are you doing that? Are you actually making a survey, using this public to actually make this application dedicated to them, or this software, application, product, whatever?
Well, this is not the main point, to get like some public feedback on early startups. For me as an investor, taking place in this show is, of course, getting very good deals. The whole group is pre-selecting the companies. Some 700 startups applied for the last year's show, and on the selection, the best 30 came into the show. So I have already a superb pre-selection. And to be honest, on this camera thing issue, we're sitting like a little above, and the guys coming in, so we can we as investor can come up to quite good deals. We can make very good offers. So this is my main interest as investor to participate in the show. The media company behind might have other reasons. They produced a very successful format. We have, it was the first kind in the Germanic markets, the 2 minute 2 million. We have now in Germany a copycat, which is called Höhle der Löwen, like Lion's Den. So it turned out to be a quite a very successful format for the public. Another side effect from my side is that the public gets aware what is a business angel doing, what is a startup, how does it really work, how is a startup finding an investor. You're right, it's a tricky thing. You have to do both. You have to do a show and you have to do at the same time real investments. And this is quite tricky to get it together. But last year and this year's production as well, it turned out that we made this bridge.
But maybe also again from my point of view, for the Austrian TV channel PULS4, it's a public value format. Yeah, you don't want to see any trash in the afternoon, like or maybe another private TV channel in Austria. I don't want to say the name, but I think we all know what I mean. It's also a part of quality TV, which we are also educating people in front of the television, because it's an economic background, and I think it's really important also to support companies in Austria.
Did this answer your question, or maybe can we have the microphone again?
So afterwards, you know that the public is very aware that this is business, or it's still a show? I mean, like, do you really focus on this public and tell them, guys, those guys, you know, in the context of the TV show, maybe it's in a business channel, and then I will understand, but it's something which is like after the news, instead of a film, there is this program, and then after I go to sleep as a public, I don't know if I learn that this is enterprises which are going to launch a real business with employees and stuff like that. Because then it's funny to make enterprises. And that's what I want to understand is, if you have really a feedback from the public out of having a, I don't know, X downloads, and then after they throw away the application if it's about technology. So that's what I'm concerned about, because if I have an enterprise and I would like to pitch for 2 million, yes, I want to have the 2 millions, but I don't want to have 2 millions and public which is destroying my product just because they see it and throw it away. I will have a big awareness, but I will have a big risk.
I mean, I think there are now 2 points in this question. I mean, of course, you have a risk. If you're like a crazy founder with a totally out-of-space idea, you might get very quick, very dirty questions of the jury. So you might, so there's the fear sometimes that your product will like go into the mud. But I think the other side of the question is, do the public really believe it's real investments? Maybe this was your question as well. It's again quite tricky. I got, from my personal feel, I got some feedback. Is this really your money? And I said, yes, of course. So we really do investments there. And maybe at the second season now we have to explain it more. This is a real situation. We really invest the money. So we make the offer and the company is accepting it. So there's a real deal done within this 15 minutes. Oh, and it's sometimes tricky to get this to all of the public. Most understand, and some maybe don't understand and don't believe it.
Oh, thanks, sorry, but I thought of my favorite question over there with 7 likes, so.
All right, there's one more question in the audience, and then we take the questions from the internet.
Hello, my name is Mustafa, I'm from Cairo, and this is a very interesting topic for me. I'm co-founder of Egyptian Streets. Proudly, in 14 months, we became #1 English news in Egypt on social media. We have passed all big names in Egypt, and we are expanding in the Middle East and North Africa very soon. But this is a very interesting topic for us, because we have been offered before many times an invest, but we are going to be biased, or not. We try to keep our independency. So it's very hard, very hard for us, in Egypt and Middle East, just to get and invest in media and being independent. So now we try, like, until the moment we bootstrap, we try to depend on content marketing as a business model and advertisement too. But what do you think about this? I mean, like, here's a question, like, just those startups from which countries are you looking at? Do you look at Middle East and or just European potential media startups?
I can answer the question for the Accelerator side of things, because we take applications from all countries. We had applications from 32 countries for the last batch, so we're open for everyone. When it comes to media, I'm in for 7 Ventures. We also are interested in other countries' businesses or apps or whatever you've created that we could then, localize for the German-speaking market in which we have TV presences. So we would definitely not, advertise for a product that is from abroad and is only available there. But if you have a product that would also work in the German-speaking region, we can definitely talk and then see if it makes sense to import the product and localize it, and then run TV ads for this product here.
Yeah.
All right.
It's the same than Jens said. We are importing nowadays companies from Asia or for the US and presenting them in the Central European market. It's our goal to build up European companies, not Austrian companies or German companies, European companies.
And to add to that, we have just recently formed a media alliance with other European TV networks, so that we can offer companies from other continents the European reach as a whole, and not only to the German-speaking regions in which we have our own channels.
All right, we take one more question from the internet, the favorite one, from Anonymous. He or she is asking, I heard I get only a huge portion of unsellable bad airtime on TV for my shares. What's true?
No, yeah.
That's just not true. I mean, the gross media we got for the equity is more or less our money, and we can decide where to invest the money, on which airtime, in which environment, and which target audience we want to target, and they will book it like that. And the difficulty is to find the sweet spot where you don't have to pay that much for a certain airtime and get enough benefit and enough downloads.
And maybe it's also an optimization process, like a Google AdWords campaign or something else like that. Yeah, we are booking in 1 month and looking which format, which channel is bringing you the most traffic, yeah, and it's the cheapest traffic for you. So it's the whole time an optimization process. But maybe
from my side as well, I mean, the point is, what is bad airtime? To me, there is no bad airtime. There's a cheaper airtime and a more expensive airtime. And the startup has to make this decision. Do I want to have 1 spot just before the Champions League game on Pulse 4? Or do I want to have 100 or 500 spots at midnight or at 2 o'clock in the morning? And the 2 o'clock in the morning, which might fall under unsellable, might be the better conversion for your model than the 1 spot in the Champions League. So again, the question is, you have to split up your media media up into the slots you want to have. And for me, there's no bad one. There's only cheap and expensive one.
Of course, because you have your core group. Yeah, I mean, if you have some houseman, yeah, and maybe they're working in the morning in the kitchen and so on. Maybe it's the best time for your product to be on air during the morning. So,
and also one last thing to it. Usually, it's an integrated approach. I mean, you would never just run a TV ad and then believe everything goes, just like crazy. It's usually an integrated approach that we do with online marketing, that you optimize your AdWords campaigns as well in synchronization with the TV formats that you run, and then also it's a long-term process. It's for more than just 1 spot.
All right, so thank you very much. We've run out of time. Give him a round of applause, please.